Hey everyone, what's up? This is Trainor-Ling here.
What's up, everybody? It's I, Ken Snake.
Hello, everyone. This is WingArtist28.
Hello, everybody. This is DownloadsBake, and I'm back from the Biscuit Chateau. It was really nice. It's really nice. I'm glad I invited none of you.
And we have a special guest here, so please introduce yourself.
I'm Kim.
Hey, you know what I just realized, guys?
What?
Where's LNS?
Oh,
I don't know. He was here for the reaction.
yeah.
Yeah, like I sent him a message telling him we're reviewing now, but I don't know. Oh well. Alright, so without further ado, let's go into the plot. So the plot here is that when a huge snowstorm, or what's considered a blizzard, hits downtown city, the pets and Blythe are snowed in and must stay with each other. The only problem is that the pets can't stand to be near each other at the moment. And the subplot is that Roger tries to shovel his way back to the pet shop, but ends up finding himself in different locations. My first positive, as you can all probably guess, is Parker. Oh wait, wrong episode. My first real positive is the song. Chase Away the Winter Blues is still by far my favorite song of the series, not including the shorts. It was great, it was catchy, and let me just point out, for those of you who don't know, this is the very first song that Blythe and the Pets sang a song together.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to add to this too. The Hub initially released this song in late June of this year, and it was a sneak peek of what was to come later into season 3. A lot of people have already listened to this prior to this episode, so they probably already know the song. But as some of us realized, there's an extra measure or two included in the actual episode that we hadn't known about. I loved the song. It was great, and Blythe tries many approaches in order to cheer the pets up, but I think this was all in her head because the pets seem unaffected after the song ends.
Yeah, and the thing about it though is that I did actually did upload eventually on YouTube just to get the word out. But I mean, as for the content of the whole, yeah, I mean it does fit pretty decently in the episode. I mean, like he said, Blythe was trying her best to just chase away their winter blues, in her own fantasy. But then, and by the end, it just now goes back to reality. Man, to my other positive. My positive for this one actually would be the pets' own task of surviving in the blizzard in their own way, which they were pretty amusing to watch. I actually like Vinny's as my favorite because you can notice that how Vinny was just imagining all these scientific or math equations hovering over his face. But I mean, overall, it's just Vinny actually does have a sort of hidden thought of being smart, even though he just played for laughs like that. So
The thing that I liked about this episode was Sunil's facial expressions. And the animation was really good. And yeah. Sunil's facial expressions were just awesome. And Vinny's too.
Yeah.
But they're always good.
I like how we also get more characterization on the pets' owners in this episode. Blythe, in the beginning of the episode, is on a call with Mrs. Nevla, and that's how she refers to Sunil's owner, implying they can talk, which means that Nevla is actually their owner's last name. So I think all the pets take on their last names of the owners, which means there's John and Clarissa Trent, or Penny's pet owner's last name as Ling.
Anyone else have any other positives?
I have one other one, Buttercream in this one. Even though she appeared for a few minutes, or at least just a bit for a short period of time, but she was nice actually to give Blythe an idea to help get them to maybe an attempt to work it out, to survive in a blizzard. And the part also where even though when Buttercream did her own gag, that part, all of a sudden Blythe actually did her own variation of that, which was unexpected and surreal. But
I also liked Roger's plot to get back to the pet shop. I think it was really hilarious. The entrance is right in front of him, yet he somehow still manages to mess up and go to where he started, or the largest ever pet shop, or the North Pole. It might seem a bit outplayed, but I think it works really well in this episode to be funny.
I guess the final one positive is the pets. Because, when aren't the pets the positive?
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, if they're not the positive and they're the main part of this show.
Zoe in the beginning of the episode was really funny when she was listening to her music and she was trying to quiet everyone down.
How can I chill to my mad beats? If all you are yelling and reading and eating and arguing. I am so glad this day is almost over. Agree. Yeah, I don't know this episode too well.
So I guess we can move on to negatives now.
My first negative would have to be, this is more of a nitpick, and just for the record, as much as I love the song to death, but my only problem with it is the fact that when the song was over, the rest of the episode continued like it did in the beginning, and it kind of defeated the purpose of Chase Away the Winter Blues.
Yeah.
Although in the end, they do come together and work out their problems.
My other negative I like to add would be the way that the pets were arguing from the beginning. Like, even though like it actually was kind of like what those pet people's like when they argue on the small things, and I would think maybe they would like resolve in the end. Though it felt a bit dragged on like throughout the episode, like unless there was explanation besides just another pet peeves, in a sense. It was a bit questionable, but yeah.
I've only got one negative, and I know Bacon is gonna hate me for this, but just hear me out. But when we see Twombly in the beginning of the episode talking on the phone with Blythe, by the end of the episode we learn she's in the back room of the Littlest Pet Shop all along. She tells Roger she should have used the back door when there was no snow there at all. Yet when we see the initially snow falls in the beginning, we see the whole area of the town covered in snow, including the block that surrounds the building of LPS. There should have been snow back there as well. And why couldn't Twombly just come up to the front of the building to talk to Blythe instead of staying in the room and calling her?
Yeah.
And like they also said that the thermostat or the heat was out. And if that was for the entire building, how did she not notice it was cold?
Yeah.
Or was she just sitting in there like,
Well, dear, it's cold in here.
She was too busy having her own problems with the TV and the cable guy.
who ended up in the North Pole at the end?
Roger kind of felt a little overplayed for me. It was just like random and didn't do anything to move the plot forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like, although I wouldn't list him as a negative, Roger Baxter is love, Roger Baxter is life. Our fan fictions would go nowhere.
Hello, is anyone there?
Oh.
Ellen,
Hey, hello.
Oh, thank God. I finally got a connection. Hey, sorry about that, everyone. I'm trapped in cyberspace.
Cyberspace.
again?
Well, what happened was, something grabbed me, and now I can't get out, because apparently my power to open portals that go back to the real world, to the computer world, it's gone, and I can't replace it either. I need to find who took it and basically get my power back, or else I can't come back to the real world. But what do I have to say about Snow Storming? Well, I can't really say anything about Snow Storming. I really just have a speech for everyone when it just comes to writing, because this episode is the same as If the Shoe Fits. When it just comes to the whole story overall, I've been blaming the writers, but I've learned I should not just blame the writers. I should blame the whole story overall, because it's both the story editor and the story writer that do create the whole story overall. So when it just comes to it, just don't blame one party. Blame the whole story, because then the guilty party will know who they are, and you won't have to play the blame game. But what I think of Snow Storming is, it's the same thing as If the Shoe Fits. So I will be giving it the same score that I gave If the Shoe Fits. If you don't know what it is, go watch our If the Shoe Fits review.
Wait, was If the Shoe Fits the one when they go to the Biscuits party to see the soul patches?
Yeah.
So, overall, this episode, as you guys already know, this was the most anticipated episode since the hiatus, and even before the hiatus, because this was pushed off the most out of any episode on this show. As a matter of fact, it was the only one. But it kind of delivered what I was looking for. Did it have every single piece I wanted to see? Not exactly. I was kind of hoping for, after Chase Away the Winter Blues, they all started working together and they all had some sort of fantasy, or they went out in the snow and had a fantasy out there. But, you know, the song's purpose was defeated when the pets just went back to the way they were. Roger was great, as always, because when isn't Roger Baxter great when he's on screen? So, overall, I'm going to give this episode a 9.5 out of 10.
I believe I gave this, I said If the Shoe Fits, so I think it was a 6.5 out of 10?
Probably is, yeah.
For my thoughts, I think I'd expand on what Sunil said. We learned about this episode for a long time now, and this was one of the most anticipated episodes of the season. I think some people have gotten too overhyped for this episode because the song came out 6 months in advance. For some people, I think that's why their ratings are lower than it should be, but I didn't have my hopes up for this episode. I really liked it, and I didn't really listen to the song that much, so it didn't get old for me. So I think I would give this a 9 out of 10.
No, as for me, this is actually a really good episode. I mean, I enjoyed the crazy tactics the pets came up with, and mostly Blythe just being her usual caretaking role on the pets. Though there were some hiccups with the pets arguing and the ending. Well, for the matter, it was still enjoyable for me. I would give this an 8.5 out of 10.
It's now time for my thoughts, and this one will require my thinking room, so let's just go inside. I really like this episode, unlike most. Most people are bashing this episode pretty hard. While when it comes to the holiday spirit, Winter Wonder What did a better job touching up on the holiday spirit and the lessons that are commonly told in the holidays. As for the A-plot, I really did enjoy the A-plot. Now, most people say it's an extension of Little's Pet Peeves, the short that came out on YouTube a while back. For me, I think that it is a little bit different because of the fact that there are 7 pets, not 4. And the reason why it makes somewhat of a difference is because it takes longer to calm 7 pets down than it does 4. And you gotta factor in the fact that it was really cold, due to the thermostat malfunctioning. And now, Buttercream was adorable, and Blythe had good intentions. The song Chase Away the Winter Blues was really good also. It really didn't do so much on the story itself, but it did show how Blythe really wanted to end this little bickering that they had, and just wanted them to work together. Or, in other words, to chase away the winter blues. And as for the B plot of Roger trying to dig through the snow and get to the pet shop, was played for laughs, and it was funny for the most part. Maybe one time extra that it didn't need, but it was still funny, and it was still good, and it was expected from someone like Roger. Not saying that he's dumb, it's just he's a little quirky guy, he's silly. And it was played well for the majority of the time. Also, I've been hearing a lot of people harping on the ending when Mrs. Plumley comes through the back door of the pet shop and is saying that there is no snow back there. There are a lot of variables that we need to factor in that make this argument not 100% legit. First, we do not know the structure or the complete layout of the building. We do not know where the back door is located exactly. And we do not know if the snow was plowed, thus leading it to be easier for Mrs. Twombly to go through the back door. We do not know. There was a good chunk of time that had passed. Not a lot, but still time to have stuff be done. Also, it has been established that Mrs. Twombly does not live in the pet shop, as my fellow colleagues assume. If you watch the episode What Meme Worry, it is established that Mrs. Twombly does live upstairs. She does live in an apartment above the pet shop, unless she broke into someone's house and just started dancing in there, but it's just weird. I can argue about this for days, but you guys kind of just want to hear the final score. So, my final score will be a 9.25 out of 10. It's a good episode, with its hiccups here and there, but nothing too bad. Just, I don't know what's with the incredible hate for it. Maybe it was just due to the hype.
I'm a big animation nerd, so I was just, like, looking at the movements and stuff, and it looked a lot more natural and stuff, and it was, and I really enjoyed the episode, and although there were some hiccups, I guess, I give it, like, 8.5 out of 10.
Well, you guys, let's wrap things up because I gotta go searching for my power again to return back to the real world, so...
From all of us here at the League of Petshoppers, we hope you all have a very happy, wonderful Christmas or any holiday that you celebrate, whether it's Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, even if they ended already, and a very happy new year as well from all of us here. And thank you so much for 200 subscribers.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because the time this will be uploaded, it will be Christmas Day.
Christmas in cyberspace for me.
Yeah.
Alright, this is Snail Nation of you.
Listen to the shop, and I've gotta go because I gotta go get my power back. See ya, folks.
I Can Snake.
Wingar is 28.
And this is Download the Bacon.
And I'm Kim!
Alright guys, and this is the League of Petshoppers signing off. We will see you guys later. Adios.
Take care, everyone.
Stay
Peace
classy.
out, home slice.
Woo!
Peace out, home slices. Eat your heart out, CC Trainor-Ling.
Uh-oh. He's getting back at you.
I'm sorry, CC. We love you.
Anyway, thanks, and thanks again.
Meanwhile, at Cece's house.
Greetings everyone, this is CC Trainor-Ling. Fortunately, I can't make the review today because I'm waiting for the cable guy to show up. I think his name is Chip Douglas, or is it Ernie Douglas? Man, doesn't matter. Anyway, while I wait, I can give you my thoughts on the episode Snow Stormin. Well, first, let me just start off by saying I felt the pets were just unnaturally mean to each other from out of nowhere. But I guess that's sort of like a minor nitpick of mine. Because, hey, even the best of friendships have those moments where they just can't stand each other. So I can perfectly understand that. I can definitely see where they were going. I'm a little annoyed with the snowfall that just happened to just thwomp, just fall to the ground in just 3 seconds. If it happened overnight, be a lot more believable. But to just have it come thwomp out of nowhere in just 3 seconds, it's just, yeah. But if I may talk more about that snowfall, I kinda didn't like how Twombly just showed up through the back entrance of the pet shop, and she said, oh, well, there's just no snow back there. So then how did she get in if there was snow everywhere else in downtown city? Kinda doesn't add up, but hey, it's Mrs. Twombly. She'll find a way in. And speaking more on the humans, I really did not care for the Roger B-plot. I mean, it was funny. I know it's been done before, but Roger's a funny guy, so obviously he made it hilarious. I just felt like it dragged on for too long, considering that all he had to do was just dig directly in front of him just to get to Little's pet shop. I mean, he was right there, and he just went to the North Pole. It's funny, but it just dragged on for too long. But there are some positives I do have. Like, for instance, Buttercream. She was really hilarious. I liked her. She was helpful. Just being her little funny bunny self. Just too bad she got called away too quickly and just didn't stay towards the end. Would have been nice. And I will say that Chase Away the Winter Blues was actually a really entertaining song, if you want to just use it for the holidays. It also fit the atmosphere of the episode. It really fit perfectly, although maybe it could have been like a little longer or shorter, give or take. I'll say that the song is definitely worth the 2 minutes. So overall, the episode wasn't really the strongest to the second half of season 3, but I will definitely say that it wasn't too weak. I will say it just had a whole bunch of potential. Just wasn't used as much as I would have hoped, but hey, it was still good for, this being the only other holiday special for the series. So I'll give this episode a nice 7 out of 10. Well, that's all I have to say on the episode. Hope you guys have a very happy holiday season, and I'll be seeing you for the next review. So until then, have a happy holiday, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, home slices. Oh, and by the way, for anyone who's been using my catchphrase when I'm not around, I'll be sure to put coal in their stockings this year. That'll show them. Peace out, home slices.